Sometimes the old saying, "It's not about what you know, it's about who you know," rings quite true. A phrase that suggests personal connections can get you what you want seems to have been the basis for an incident at KM Malta Airlines. We take a look at what happened for today's video. As reported by The Times of Malta, a KM Airlines flight from Rome to Malta was delayed by almost an hour to accommodate a late passenger. As you've probably already guessed, it wasn't just any passenger, it was a KM Malta pilot who was on holiday in the city with his family. The media outlet reports that the episode took place in late April, the morning of Pope Francis's funeral at the Vatican. Now, Flight Radar 24 data shows that the airline operates 2 daily services between Rome and Malta. On Saturdays, the airline has a 3rd service, making for a total of 15 flights per week. However, we're not 100% sure if the April incident involved a regularly scheduled KM Malta flight, as it was reported that the aircraft had flown several dignitaries, including the President and the Prime Minister, to Rome to attend the funeral. At the same time, the media report states that the flight was set to return to Malta from Fiumicino Airport at 9:50 a.m. local time, and this lines up perfectly with the timing of flight KM 613. And so, shortly before the flight's scheduled departure, it was said that the pilot of the flight was contacted by the fellow pilot, who asked for the flight to be delayed to give him and his family time to arrive at the airport. It wasn't just any old colleague, however. Rather, the individual making the request was a former head of the pilots' union. This individual was on holiday in Rome together with several members of his family at the time. The main reason for the request was that a family member had become unwell and needed to return home. It looks like the pilot on duty went along with this request, and the flight eventually departed at 10:36 a.m., 46 minutes behind schedule. The aircraft landed in Malta 45 minutes late. Now, we're not sure exactly who blew the whistle or if the airline conducted an investigation on its own, but after reviewing the facts, KM Malta found that the pilot making the request had breached company policy, which prohibits staff from requesting special travel arrangements. The individual also breached policy by directly contacting the flight's pilot over the matter, rather than informing the company's operations team. As for consequences, the individual who made the request was eventually disciplined, with his staff travel privileges suspended for 3 months. He also received a letter of caution, which will remain in his file for a year. The pilot of the flight who went along with the request was also disciplined, receiving a warning over the incident. So the airline seems to view the episode as an abuse of power, but the pilots' union sees it otherwise. A union spokesperson insisted that the flight's pilot, quote, followed the ethos of the company to provide a caring service to all passengers by waiting for this passenger on medical grounds, having evaluated that there would be no operational consequences to the delay, and after consulting with KMMA Operations Control. But what do you think? Would the pilot have done the same for any other random passenger booked for the flight? Let us know what you think about all of this by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.